Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back. So, today I want to talk about something that I see screwing people over constantly. And most of them don't even realize it's happening. You build something, you're running ads, traffic is coming in, and then nothing. People land on your page and just leave. Bounce rate through the roof, ad budget disappearing, and you're sitting there like, what is going on? I've seen this pattern probably 100 times across client projects, and almost every time it comes down to one of two things. Either your traffic is garbage, wrong audience, misleading ads, maybe even bots, or your headline isn't doing its job. And look, garbage traffic is a real thing. It happens. But here's what I want you to check first before you go blaming the ads. If you're running honest ads, and by honest I mean not make $10,000 while you sleep nonsense, just a straightforward promotion of what you actually sell, and your numbers look decent, reasonable click-through rate, cost per click that makes sense, people watching your videos, traffic coming from at least 2 different sources, a few hundred clicks in the door, then your audience showed up. They were interested enough to click, and then they left. That's the thing. They didn't leave because they weren't interested. They left because what they saw when they landed didn't match what they expected. Or worse, it didn't say anything meaningful at all. If you're seeing 60% plus bounce rates with otherwise healthy traffic metrics, the problem is almost certainly your value proposition. Or, more specifically, your headline. So today I'm going to walk you through the exact process I use on every single client project, step by step. And I'll give you a real example at the end so you can see what this actually looks like in practice. Let's get into it. Step 1. Get clear on who you're talking to. And I mean really clear. Not small business owners, not people in healthcare. I'm talking age, location, how they found you, what they were actively searching for when they did. Build the most complete picture you can. If you don't have data yet, fine. Start with a hypothesis. Write down your best guess at who this person is. You'll refine it later, but you need someone in mind before you write a single word. Because here's the thing, a headline written for everyone converts no one. You need to be talking to one specific person with one specific problem. That's it. Step 2. Find the real pain. And I want to be clear about what I mean by real pain, because this is where most people get it wrong. I'm not talking about the feature. I'm not talking about the use case. I'm talking about the actual thing keeping your customer up at night. What went wrong that made them start searching in the first place? What have they already tried? Why didn't it work? Because people don't search for products, they search for relief. They search because something broke, or something failed, or something is costing them money, or they're embarrassed, or they're scared. That emotional context is what you need to understand. This is the stuff that matters. I know that sounds obvious when I say it out loud, but you'd be amazed how many landing pages are written by people who skipped this step entirely and just listed features. Step 3. Draft your value proposition. One sentence. That's the rule. One sentence that answers 3 questions. Why you? Why now? And why should this specific person care? If you need 2 sentences to explain it, it's not there yet. Keep pushing. A good value prop speaks directly to the pain you just identified, in words the customer would actually use, not words you'd put in a brochure, not corporate speak, not comprehensive solution for modern healthcare organizations. Real words, human words. Here's a quick test. Find someone who fits your target audience, friend, colleague, whoever, and show them your headline. Give them 5 seconds. Just 5. Then cover it up and ask them what you do. If they're confused or vague, or they repeat back your tagline word for word without really understanding it, go back to step 2. Something isn't landing. Step 4. Go find how real people actually talk about this problem. This is the step most people skip, and it's the one that makes the biggest difference. Open up Perplexity, Claude, ChatGPT, doesn't matter which one, use all 3, and don't ask them for industry analysis or market research. Instead, ask them this. What do people complain about when it comes to your category? Find me Reddit threads, product reviews, forum posts, actual quotes, not summaries. What you're looking for is the unfiltered version. Someone typing at 11 p.m. annoyed. Just trying to solve a problem, not a polished testimonial, not a case study. The raw, honest, slightly frustrated version of how real people describe their situation. That's the language you want. Industry white papers won't help you here. You don't want polished, you want real. Step 5. Find the pattern. Take everything from those 3 tools and dump it into one document. Just paste it all in. Then read through it. And as you're reading, you're looking for what keeps coming up. Same words, same frustrations, same situations showing up again and again from different sources, different people, different contexts, but saying essentially the same thing. Usually you'll find 3 or 4 real pains buried in there, and one of them, when you hit it, will feel sharper than the rest, more urgent, more specific, more emotionally charged. That's your headline, right there. Step 6. Build the headline around their words, not yours. Take that sharpest pain and write directly to it. Don't translate it into marketing language. Don't clean it up too much. Use the words from the research, because those are the words your customer will recognize instantly when they land on your page. Here's the key distinction. There's a difference between how a company describes its solution and how a customer describes their problem. Your headline should sound like the second one. If your customer says, "I can't afford enterprise pricing," your headline shouldn't say, "Cost-effective solutions for growing businesses." It should address the price fear directly, in plain language, the way they said it. Okay, let me show you what all of this looks like in practice. So let me give you a real example. A client I worked with in the medical hosting space, HIPAA compliant, selling to practices and clinics. And when I first looked at their landing page, their headline was rough. Version 1. HIPAA compliant cloud hosting solutions for healthcare businesses. I mean, technically accurate, completely useless. Reads like it was written by someone who has never spoken to an actual customer. No pain addressed, no urgency, no reason to keep reading. Version 2 they had tried. Secure, reliable and affordable HIPAA hosting. 3 adjectives. 0 emotion. Here's the thing, nobody searches for reliable hosting. Nobody wakes up and thinks, "I really need something reliable today." They search because something went wrong. Their previous host had a breach scare. Their IT person quit. They got an audit notice. Something happened. And that something is what your headline needs to speak to. So we did the research. And what kept coming up over and over across Reddit threads and product reviews and forum posts were 3 specific fears. Price. Everyone assumes HIPAA-compliant hosting is going to cost a fortune. It's the first thing they say. "We can't afford enterprise pricing." That's a direct quote from the research. Speed. Medical practices can't sit around waiting weeks for a vendor to set them up. Every vendor wants a 3-month implementation. Another direct quote. Complexity. Most of these practice owners are not technical. They've been burned by solutions that required hiring a contractor just to get started. Our IT person just quit and we have no idea what we're doing, showing up constantly. So the headline we landed on was this: the most affordable HIPAA-compliant hosting, up and running in 1 day, no IT headache. Price? Covered. Speed? Covered. Complexity? Covered. 3 fears, 1 sentence. And here's what I want you to notice. That headline didn't come from being clever. It didn't come from a brainstorming session or a copywriting framework. It came from listening, literally just reading what people wrote when they were frustrated and looking for help. All right, one last thing before you go live. Once you have your headline, run it back through Claude or ChatGPT. Paste in your research the actual customer quotes you found, and then paste in your headline and ask it this: here's how my customers describe their pain. Here's my headline. Evaluate 3 things: where it matches their actual language, where it sounds like marketing, and roughly what share of this audience would resonate with it based on how broadly or specifically it addresses the pain. What you'll get is an honest read on where you slipped back into product speak. And this is the part people overlook: whether your headline is too niche or broad enough to pull in most of your market. Because there's a real tension there. A super specific headline might resonate perfectly with 10% of your audience and completely miss the other 90%. A broader headline might pull more people in but feel generic. You need to know where you landed. Fix what needs fixing, then launch. Look, most landing pages don't fail because the product is bad. They fail because the headline was written for the person who built the product, not the person who has the problem. Get that one thing right, really right, and everything downstream gets easier. Conversion rate, cost per acquisition, return on ad spend, all of it. Not easy, but easier. And honestly, the whole process takes a few hours. That's it. A few hours of actual research and honest writing versus weeks of wondering why your funnel isn't working. Worth it every time. Alright, that's it for today. If this was useful, share it with someone running ads who's stuck on their landing page, because I guarantee they need to hear this, and I'll see you in the next one.